Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order and acknowledge that we are in Treaty 1 territory, the home and traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Innu, and Dakota peoples, and in the national homeland of the Red River Métis. Our drinking water comes from Shoal Lake 40 First Nation in Treaty 3 territory. On the panel this morning is Ms. Michelle Duncan and Mr. Doug Marks. Our assessor is Mr. Matthew Harling, and our administrative person is Ms. Crystal Harlan. My name is Bill Moretsky. I am also on the panel and will be chairing the proceedings this morning. We will be hearing applications for revision of the business assessment role in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act in the City of Winnipeg Charter. The matters for which revision is requested have been described in each application, and we will limit discussion to those matters. The statements that are made at this hearing are sworn testimony. Anyone speaking to the matters must be sworn in. Be advised that comparisons of assessments of properties are not considered evidence of market value by the Board of Revision. The Board of Revision is appointed annually by Council and is independent of it and the City Administration. It makes its decisions on the basis of the evidence provided at this hearing and issues a written order that will be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the board's decisions with respect to an application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value, or to the Court of King's Bench if the matter pertains to the application of exemptions from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, information on how to do so will be included with the board's order. With respect to the hearing process, I will confirm the points of appeal with your property to be addressed with each applicant following the swearing in. We will then have the assessor's testimony followed by questions that the applicant may have, and then the applicant's testimony followed by questions. Each side will have an opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all of the evidence about an application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket today. The session will close after all the applications have been heard, and the board will deliberate in private and make its decisions. You will receive the board's decision by registered mail as soon as possible. As information, all public hearings are live streamed, recorded, and will be part of the public record. We will be hearing item number 1 on our docket today only. Ms. Harden, please affirm the assessor's and the applicant's testimony.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Mr. Assessor, would you please state your full name?
Matthew Harling.
Thank you. Do you affirm that the evidence you are about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Mr. Applicant, would you please state your full name?
Boardroom.
Thank you. Do you affirm that the evidence you are about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Okay, our first property on the docket today, item number 1, is at 55 Bannister Road. This is an application for revision of the amount of the ARV, annual rental value. Mr. Harling, can you please begin your presentation?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The file number is 24-4542. The address as indicated is 55 Bannister Road. The business assessment ID is 52352. The business name, we don't have a name on here, but the owners are Winnipeg Foam Corp. If you look below under my brief here, we'll see the total area of all the premises on for the subject today are 5,754 square feet. And we have a total annual rental value of $53,340. If you look below on my brief here under the subject bid, we'll see here we have the one premise, which is numbered 32926. Again, the address is 55 Bannister Road. You see, as I indicated, the total premise area is 5,754 square feet, and we're applying a model rent of $6.87 a square foot. This gives us a base annual rental value of $39,530. If we look to the right of that, under the occupancy costs, you'll see here for the heat, electricity, water, we're assessing the full area at 5,754 square feet. And you'll see the rates that we are using. And then for air conditioning, we have only 1,000 square feet of area that's being assessed for air conditioning. If we take all these occupancy costs together, we get a total occupancy cost of $13,824. And if we add that to the base annual rental value, we get a total annual rental value of $53,340. If you look below on my brief under the subject lease information, you'll see it's obviously not owner occupied. So there is a lease in place, as you can see here. So the lease started as of July 1st, 2019. It's a 6-year term lease. And you'll see the rate in place is $6.50. I just would like to note, I don't think this is really an issue of contention, but I did note, I just want to note when I initially noticed this, there was I believe there's been a step up on the lease since then. So from my understanding, the lease in place is actually $7. So I believe that's that what I was able to find online and find in our system. So so just to note that. So, but I don't think the issue of contention is the lease in place because we're pretty close in the rents. That being said, if we look under my rent comparables here, you'll see here I have 5 rent comparables. So we have some addresses at 205 Shepherd, 79 Plymouth, 251 Oak Point Highway, 1617 Church, and 1429 Mountain. Lease term dates range from February 2020 to December 2021. Lease terms range from 2 to 5 years. Areas range from 5,125 square feet to 9,406 square feet. And the reported rents range from $6.75 to $7.75. Okay, if we turn to page 2 of my brief, we'll just see the subject location here. So again, this is located on Bannister Road, just off of King Edward Street, as you can see at the top on page 2. And the bottom of page 3, this is just a more zoomed in photo just to show where it's situated on Bannister Road. Turn to page 4 of my brief. This is just an aerial view of the subject. This is the overall property is a multi-tenant property, so you can see there's multiple addresses for the different units. And then if you look at the bottom of page 5, you'll just see some of the photos, further photo just to show the different units on the building, and obviously 59 through 51. And then just going for the rest of my brief here, if you go through pages 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, these are just photos of each of the comparables, going through comparables 1 through 5. So if you want to see pictures of those. That being said, I believe that concludes the presentation, and I'm open for questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Bernoulli, do you have any questions on the assessor's presentation?
Nope. I had some comments, but that'll come in my briefing.
Okay, Ms. Duncan, do you have any questions?
Just obviously it's a model driven.
Correct. The rate is model derived. Yes.
And then you had the chance to inspect the property at all?
No, unfortunately, that was something that I haven't done, but that would be something that I was gonna, something that I think would be beneficial going forward, so we can just have the up-to-date information that we don't have on file.
Right. Okay, no other questions. Thank you.
Mr. Marks, do you have any questions?
No, my question has been asked and answered. Thank you.
So these occupancy costs here, you have Mr. Harling, they are standard model-driven occupancy costs, the rates, electricity, water, air conditioning?
No, those are, the rates actually are not model derived. They're actually, they're derived from, we actually look at the actual utility. We'll actually look at what the actual utilities are being charged out there. Like we'll look at the water rates that the city's charging, or hydro rates that hydro would be charging. The rates. So the rates are across the board. We use the same rates across the board for all businesses though. So, but no, they're not model derived. So.
Okay, so that tip for heat, for example, at 73 cents per square foot, that would be what is being charged out there for heat for manufacturing facilities. Would that be correct?
You know what? In terms of like, there may be some the one thing I'll note about the occupancy cost, there may be some variations from business to business. I'm mindful of that, but yeah, like I said, the rates we would use would be from the utility boards, what they're charging. So yeah, so like I said, I don't have the exact figures, but those would be based on those. Yes. So.
Okay, but they are typical for a building like this that's actually part of other units within a building, correct?
I mean, in terms of like, we would look at it more for like, what buildings of like maybe manufacturing, storage warehouse, like industrial style commercial buildings would be. Yeah. So it would be it would be the rates how we apply them. So for those types of buildings. Yeah.
Yeah, so this particular building or this business has a shared wall with two premises beside it. Is that correct?
Yes. I believe there's 4 other businesses in here as well. Yes.
So there would be some, I guess, effect on the consumption of utilities based on that, right? Because if you're sharing walls with other properties.
Oh yeah, yes, I don't dispute that. Yes, there would be some variations. Yes, yeah.
I have no further questions then. Mr. Bernoulli, you may begin your presentation, please.
Okay. So I'm a bit concerned about the increase of annual rental value. We are a small fabricating business, and costs are super important to us to maintain and to try to level off. So we haven't had to pay the city tax for a while. And now it seems like with an increase over last year, I don't know what the benchmark value is going to be or the threshold. But we're just, it's going to be tough for us. I noticed here, I just jumped to the expense report or the occupancy costs. They're wildly higher than we're actually paying. So, I mean, you'll see what the actual costs are, Schedule 1 of my report. So like 4 times, 7 times for electricity. So the value stated in the business assessment report, that's heavy manufacturing. I don't know where $7,768 in electricity comes from per year. But as you can see, we have 1,100. So it's just way too high, this assessment for what we're doing. And I guess my issue is, again, we're small manufacturing, and I have another business, and we have a much smaller size of building, so we're naturally exempt from the city tax. It's almost exactly the same in terms of revenue, in terms of profit, that sort of thing. But it's much more difficult to manufacture than it is to retail in the sense of being able to cover our costs. So that business is not being charged city tax, whereas my business was just way harder to be profitable. Now all of a sudden we have to worry about another tax on top of everything, which puts us further into the negative. So, I mean, that's just an aside. I mean, the actual issue is the inflated value of occupancy costs.
Do you have any more, Mr. Bernoulli, or are you?
No, I mean, I wrote up a summary. I don't know if you want me to read through that summary, but I basically summarized it while I was talking to you here. So.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Harling, do you have any questions on the applicant's presentation?
One thing I just want to know, just to make sure we have it correct. I just noticed on your page 3, you've indicated there's no AC in the building. You said, I guess there's no air conditioning.
No, so that was another issue. We kind of got the runt of the the building. Right, it was just a leftover unit. We needed a place that was cheap that we can manufacture in. And so it doesn't have AC. It's like the ceilings are peeling. It's not painted. It's so the whole point of us getting that building was because it was cheap in rent, right? So
understandable. No, I guess I was just another note I was going to ask. Would it be okay if maybe at some point, maybe in the future, we could maybe set up inspections so we can just verify, so we can get everything. Maybe we can just see the quality and the condition. That way, we can maybe going forward, we can be aware of some of those issues possibly. Or
absolutely, I feel like you did that 2 years ago. I remember somebody coming by to assess it.
Oh, they did actually. Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did.
Okay.
So,
Okay, I didn't know that in the notes. I didn't notice any in the notes, but okay, yeah, because no, I just noticed the AC. If you indicate it's not there, that's definitely something we would want to acknowledge. So, but okay, thank you. I'll appreciate that. So,
Mhm.
Mr. Marks, do you have any questions on the applicant's presentation?
Yes, on your utilities, the gas, electricity, and water, those are all actual costs?
Those are all actual costs. Yeah.
Okay. And no air conditioning at all in that building?
No, we had a small little window unit that we put in, but it's barely working. So we'll be
Okay.
taking that out. So
And your rent's at $7 a square foot?
it is. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. No further questions.
Do you manufacture all year round there, or are you shut down during periods?
No, we fabricate all year round except for like between Christmas and New Year's for 3 days, and then we're a week for maintenance in July.
Okay, and you manufacture foam in there, is that correct?
So yeah, so we fabricate. We call it manufacturing, but we don't actually produce the foam. We get the foam in large blocks, and then we slice it to size for mattress manufacturers, for upholsterers. So we have a bunch of band saws that work, or that we cut the foam with.
Okay, and you have one heating unit in there, gas heating unit?
We have three. Yeah, so
Three.
one for the office, and then we have two hanging units in the back.
And the office doesn't have any air conditioning?
It does not. So we put in a little, it's the only unit that does not have air conditioning in it. So we put in a tiny little window unit, but it doesn't really work. So we've just kind of left it there.
Okay, and then you're manufacturing in the winter, and I would imagine that you're opening that door quite often during the day. That'd be correct?
Yeah.
Overhead door?
Yeah, absolutely. So we get like 53-foot trailers in. That's where our foam comes in. So we're unloading that every couple weeks. And then, yeah, we're always opening the door to get the product out.
Okay, I have no further questions.
I just have one, Mr. Chair.
Oh, sorry, did I miss you? Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. Would you say the costs of operating are consistent year after year? Like there's just the year ending 2024 as far as data. Would these be typical of previous years' costs? There hasn't been any hikes or drops or anything like that?
No, they're pretty consistent. Let me just grab 2 years ago. So a little bit of a difference. So electricity was $1,400. Water was essentially the same, $332, and gas was up. It was $2,000.
Oh.
That was 2021.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
Okay, anything in summation, Mr. Harling?
no, I think I'm good. Thank you very much.
Anything in summation, Mr. Bernouche?
No, other than I want my business to keep going, and so I'm really trying to control costs here, and so I just want the actual cost to be reflected in the decision making.
Okay, that will conclude this property at 55 Bannister Road then.
Great, thanks for your time.
And having so if there's nothing else that's outstanding, then with that, we have heard all the items scheduled at this hearing, and it is now adjourned. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Chair, I'll go take us offline. Just a moment, please.
Okay.
Thank you.